All right, good morning, YouTube watchers. Whether or not you're going to be doing this live or doing this a little bit later when you have the free time. So, in the news, Neil Gorsuch, Mitch McConnell, Senate Majority Leader, says that he will have a vote this week for sure on Neil Gorsuch to get him confirmed and get him on the Supreme Court on the bench as soon as possible. Democrats have been, they've been threatening to filibuster. They've been working, and looks like they're very close to being able to filibuster the nomination. But that will not be the end of the nomination should they succeed. They need 60 votes. They're almost there. In essence, really what they need is 41 votes, I should say. 60 votes would confirm, but they need 41, obviously, to block. So they're apparently just a few votes short there officially to get there. Republicans have the nuclear option in their back pocket. Mitch McConnell will have no problem exercising this option, and this has been used by the Democrats on the federal bench for the lower courts before, but never on the Supreme Court level. The Republicans are ready to break this out and set a new precedent. So it's not one that I approve of. I think it's a good thing for the Supreme Court long term, but the Democrats are kind of forcing their hand by being very obstinate and hypocritical, trying to discredit Gorsuch and his qualifications, which is a ridiculous notion. Judge Gorsuch has been confirmed by the Senate in previous years for his job on the bench. So, this is not like he's an unknown quantity to them and has had a bunch of radical opinions. Republicans have joined with Democrats that they haven't been terribly fond of, Kagan and Sotomayor, realizing that, filibustering those things, they could have probably done it, but doing so, would have really served no real purpose in the end. Judge Gorsuch is another step closer to being seated on the court. It's just more of a matter of whether or not they'll do it the more standard up or down procedural way, or they will have to go and whip out this nuclear option, which is just not a great thing for anybody, for the Senate going forward for any type of a nomination, particularly with the Supreme Court. Susan Rice is in the news. Reports are that she is the person who requested and leaked out information about the Trump transition team and things like that. Still waiting for more confirmation exactly as to how this was discovered that it was her. I don't doubt that necessarily that it was her, because she's already shown herself to be on Benghazi a liar and dishonest. So doing something like this during the end of the Obama administration would not be something that would be unprecedented for someone of her character or lack thereof. So we'll have to wait and see about that. But there's a lot of stuff going on in the media, social media, about Susan Rice now. Tom Perez, the DNC chair, was caught on camera addressing supporters and then saying that Trump wasn't really elected. This goes back to the fact that he lost the popular vote but won an electoral vote. And so the Democrats are still, here we are months later, and they're still stewing about that. And that the Republicans and Trump don't also give an S word about the voters and things like that, which is not true in any way, shape, or form. So that tirade just kind of shows the level of which the discourse that the DNC is going to be taking going forward as they try to find a way to stanch the bleeding that they have suffered the last few years as they head into the 2018 and 2020 election seasons. So this is probably going to be some nasty bruising talk out there between the Republicans and the Democrats, because Perez is, he's all in when you come to the far left. So that's kind of the nature of how things are going to be for that. Also in Ecuador, Lenin Moreno has won re-election apparently. 51 to 49 is the margin of victory. His opponent has said that the conservative opponent has said that he is going to challenge that and demand a recount, because exit polls and other polls showed him to be much closer, if not absolutely winning the election. So we'll have to wait and see. I don't actually expect anything to be overturned if Lenin Moreno is actually the victor at this point. It'll be hard to overturn it, especially when you have a socialist running the country. That's the last thing they're going to be interested in is giving the other side a fair shake by any stretch of the imagination. And then finally, sports. Lots of things happening this past weekend, and then going forward. Congratulations to the South Carolina women's team and Coach Dawn Staley for winning their first national championship, one that was more or less given to UConn because they had won 111 games going into Friday night's game, and then they were beaten on a buzzer beater in overtime by Mississippi State, which then proceeded to lose to South Carolina yesterday. Shout out to the Mississippi State for the great effort that they put forth as well to get to the Final Four and then get to the championship game. Tonight is the men's championship game, Gonzaga and North Carolina. We'll see how that goes. Should be a great game. Gonzaga's first trip to a national championship game. Roy Williams has been here many times before, so he understands the notion here, and he understands the deep, rich history of Carolina, North Carolina, and what's at stake here. And I think, at least on paper, they have the edge. They have a veteran team with a veteran coach who's not used to losing, and but we'll see. Both teams have got great players on both sides, but the experience edge, I think, has to go to North Carolina at this stage. But you never know. It depends upon how you show up and what happens, on the night of the game. So for those of you who can stay up, the game will start about 9:20 tonight Eastern time. And then, baseball. I love baseball. It's back. It's great to see it. Hopefully I'll be able to actually take in a game or two this year. But we started off yesterday with the defending world champ Cubs losing to the Cardinals. They're one of their arch nemesis, and a team which is hoping to get back into the playoffs this year. Then there were the San Francisco Giants, which people were watching that game because Madison Bumgarner, Mad Bum, who's known for being a pretty darn good hitting pitcher, hit 2 home runs, set a new major league record by doing so on opening day for a pitcher. But it wasn't enough because even though he pitched effectively, the relief staff failed once again. They blew 30 saves last year. They blew 2 last night alone, including the closer, Mark Melanson, who came over from the Nationals in a deadline trade last year. Nationals did not make an offer to keep him in the range that he was going to be requiring, so he flitted off to San Francisco, and he took his relatively large contract there and promptly blew the save in the first game that he appeared in. So hopefully for Giants fans, that does not portend other omens and things to come this year. But when you blow 2 saves in one game, it's a little bit ominous at this point. All right. Well, thanks a lot for watching this, and please let your friends know about our YouTube page in general, where we've got our podcast coming out every Wednesday, as well as just things if you go back to our Twitter page and our Facebook page and follow and like those pages respectively. You'll get a lot more news about what's happening on a regular basis. Anyway, see you tomorrow with another Morning Report.